think I'm going to shut the light off here. Okay. Well, good afternoon, at least from where I am coming to you from. It is early afternoon. Yeah, it is. Let's see. It's 2:58, so I guess it's mid-afternoon. And it's been a while since I have been live on YouTube, and I thought it was darn tootin' time to do another one. So here I am. And I wanted to share with you just sort of what's been going on. And in the meantime, though, if you're on with me here live, please let me know where you're coming from. I will look at the chat. Let's see. Top chat. Okay. Where do I see the chat? I'm not really sure. Let's see if I can figure it out. No, I'm not sure. Okay, we have Pam. Hello from Cape Cod. Excellent. I'm North Shore of Boston. And are you preparing for this crazy new, yet another storm that we're getting? It's crazy. And my sister's here. Hello. I decided my sister Faye has been encouraging me to go live. And so I finally decided I have no more excuses. I'm just going to go live. I've been doing a lot of cooking and prepping and doing stuff in the kitchen. Hello from Texas. Glad to have you here. I have no clue. Let me see if I click on that. No, I don't know. Faye, if you're staying on, I can add you as a moderator. Let me know in the chat. I can see that. I wanted to, let's see. I'm just going to tell you how my morning has gone, and I want to tell you about these cookies that I made. Yes, cookies. Really excited about it. So I started out the morning after I had my usual oatmeal breakfast, which was a combination of rolled oats and frozen riced cauliflower and frozen mashed banana and some chopped up zucchini. Let me get a drink. Mm-hmm. Cinnamon, red lentils, and 5 times the amount of water that most people usually people do oats 1 to 1, 1 cup of oat, or I'm sorry, 1 to 2. Like if they did a half a cup of oats, they would do a cup of water. But I do less oats because I don't need as much. I get too full. So I do a quarter cup of oats and 1 1/4 cups of water. And I love it that way. It's not soupy. It cooks beautifully in the microwave. So that was how I started my morning with my usual oatmeal. And I am running a 10-day reset called 10-day Done with Diets Reset. I'm going to be doing this on a regular basis, probably several times a year, but the first one is going to be free. So if you're interested, I literally have just a few spots left because I'm limiting the number of people. So if you're interested in being a participant in the um, in this reset, please do let me know. You can. It's not so much to do it here, but you can send me either on Instagram or you can email me at Ellen at Ellen's Healthy Kitchen and let me know. I might see it here. I'm not sure, but you want to make sure to get that in so that you don't miss out. It's going to be probably sometime in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to start it. I will get the date to you as soon as it's firm. Okay, and also Jacksonville, Florida, we have and Ellen. Welcome, Ellen, from Ellen. We let's see. Where do I want to go? I want to tell you that I'm even participating in a challenge that a colleague is running because I just wanted to grease the wheels again and kind of, um, you know, revisit the challenge that I did with this person. How many years ago? In 21, so 4 years ago, and it was really helpful for me. I really learned. I learned really how to manage a whole food, plant-based, oil-free life and do it in a way that was sustainable, delicious, helped me lose the last few pounds. And I just loved it. So that's what I want to teach you. And so let me start by saying that one of the things that I've learned, which is hi, California. Oh, my sister Faye says hi to California. um, So Faye, let me know if you want to be, even for a short time, if you want to be a moderator, and I can just click on this. There's a little thing I click on. And what I've learned, and this is something that I know intellectually, but doing it is a whole other can of beans. I've learned that, okay, you want to, or okay, you'll let me know. I'm not clear. What I have learned is that I'm not eating enough. Now, on the one hand, I'm doing great because I just have my annual blood work. And with the exception of low vitamin D, which most people, especially if you live in the Northeast, are low vitamin D. But other than that, everything, all my markers were perfect. I'm 71. I take no medication. And to be honest with you, I'm really proud of that. If you have to take medication, it is the way it is and you can't help it. That's the way it is. And my recommendation is to do everything you can to get off those meds if you can. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that eating a whole food, plant-based, oil-free lifestyle, following this lifestyle, and notice I'm not calling it a diet, is one of the best ways that you can improve your health. Okay, so if you have any questions, put them in the chat. And what you can do that will be helpful is you can put like 4 question marks and then your question, because I'll see that. Okay, Arachnid Soul says, I've been whole food plant-based since 15. If you're not eating enough, whoops, why did it disappear? If you're not eating enough, a breakfast smoothie is a great way to go. You can cram so much food, good stuff in there. Yes, I get that. And I love smoothies, don't get me wrong, but I'm really trying to chew my food. I'm trying to and I'm not against having the smoothies for sure. And I would prefer, at least to start with, to try to just get more, just to balance my plate differently. And that's what I'm doing. So, and it's been helping. I'm really upping, like every single plate, when I build my plates, every single plate is 50%, if not 60% vegetables, because that fills my belly. I'm also trying to develop a repertoire of more soups, because this, if I can do a soup as a like a preload my meals with a soup, then I think that that is a great way to stretch your, or to satisfy your hunger, your stretch receptors in your stomach that tell you you're full, right? So that's one thing. I really should do a whole video on this, on just eating more food. And the other thing that I'm doing is, and I want to help other people um, in my in my audience, people who come and listen to me. The other thing that I want to tell people is, we have in our heads, and I know I'm not the only one, give me a thumbs up if you agree, we have been conditioned for decades that we have 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. And if you are hungry in between, damn it, you better just white knuckle it. Well, guess what? If you're hungry in between, it means A, you're not eating enough at your meals, and B, have another meal. So for example, I made these cookies. You can see the whole tray of them with with the intention of, when I get hungry sort of mid-afternoon, I'm going to have another sort of mini meal, and I will have one of these, and I will put it on a plate, and I will add some either carrots and celery, or I will add some carrots and celery and sliced apples, but something that's low calorie density, but is going to give me a lot of volume and fill my belly until dinner, because I don't want to white knuckle it. And you'll never believe what's in these cookies, and they're delicious. There's oatmeal, rolled oats. There's chickpeas. This is what was left over. I had chickpeas, but there's so rolled oats, chickpeas, um, banana, cinnamon, a little bit of salt. That's it. Oh, also a little bit of pumpkin, because I had, was it pumpkin? No, it was sweet potato, which I have here because I'm going to make brownies out of them. I had a little extra sweet potato, so I put that in as well. And then I took a stick blender and blended it all. And I learned this from White Sage Nutrition, and she's a colleague. And I always adapt recipes. So I just took her recipe and just made a few little tweaks. These are so good that I cannot wait. Like when I'm done with this um, live, I'm going to have that snack plate I told you about. So it'll be a little sort of a mini meal, right? It will be the cookie and some apple, or I might do some pear. I have a pear that needs eating, and some cucumber, carrot, celery, that kind of thing until dinner. So, okay, so Christine says, I'm loving the oatmeal in the morning. Yes, thank you. Um, Oatmeal in the morning is my go to. And one of the big reasons, and I tell people this when I work with them privately, which, by the way, if you're interested in private coaching, let me know. But what I tell people is the 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 decision fatigue is such a downer when it comes to finding a way to eat that's sustainable. Because if you wake up in the morning and you are like, oh, I don't know what to have. Should I have cereal? Should I have oatmeal? Should I have waffles? Should I have pancakes? Should I have a salad with beans in it? Should I go savory? Should I go sweet? You know, if you're constantly driving yourself nuts with all those decisions, then you're sabotaging your day right from the beginning. Faye says the frozen rice cauliflower in the oatmeal is a game changer. It absolutely is. And I find myself, by the way, sort of playing around with the amounts. So right now I'm up to equal amounts oatmeal, rolled oats, and cauliflower, frozen rice cauliflower. And I still don't taste it at all. So Jessica says hello from Washington State. Love your content. Thank you. Actually, do you love it or do you live it? I said live your content, which I live my content. Christine says it really is. Never thought that cauliflower and zucchini was going to be so good. I know it's kind of weird and crazy, right? It's crazy. I mean, if you had asked me 8 years ago whether I would be having oatmeal in the morning with frozen rice, cauliflower, zucchini, and as two of the components, I would have said you were out of your mind. I'm almost to the point where I might consider putting, almost I said, I might consider putting chickpeas in, but I'm not quite there. Instead, what I do is I add a tablespoon of this. This is red lentils. And so it gives me some beans. But so where was I? I just know that I'm not eating as much as I should, and I also am not eating as much starches as I should. So I made, where did I put it? Oh, here. Yesterday I went to the Asian store and I bought some of this sweet brown rice. Now this kind of sweet white rice is used to make a traditional Asian dessert, which is called sticky mango or mango sticky pudding, something like that. And I'm really trying to get off of white rice. And trust me when I tell you, and by the way, can you hear me okay? I forgot to ask. Can anybody let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay? So I love white rice, and I'm not saying I'll never, ever have it. That's crazy. Yes, okay, cool. But I made the sweet brown rice in my rice cooker, and it came out sticky and great. Mm, mm. I might, maybe, I might use it to make like a little dessert for dinner tonight because I cut up a fresh papaya. And so rather than mango sticky pudding, I'll have like papaya sticky pudding. Doesn't that sound good? I think that would be really delicious. Um, so anyway, I know that I need to eat more starches um, and more vegetables. That's all. I'm going to challenge myself right now to not. This is a random hair. To not say You heard it here first. I'm going to try. I'm going to take a breath and not say So what do I have here for potatoes? Um I have a white Hannah sweet potato. Sometimes grocery stores will call them Jersey sweet potatoes, or they'll even just say white. I know them as Hannah. That I get them from a couple of different places. Whole Foods almost always has them. I also have this. It's called a New Sprout. No, New Sprout Organic Farms, and it's an organic purple sweet potato. So I'm going to try that for the first time. Anytime you can have foods that are purple, produce, vegetables, fruits, potatoes like this, they include a component called anthoniacin. Anthoniacin? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but the purple vegetables, the purple produce, it's a great um, it's great. And if anybody wants to do me a favor and just look up why is purple in vegetables so healthy, do just a quick search and then put it in the comments, and then we'll read from Google. We'll read the real deal. Then I have this one, and to be honest, I'm not sure what it is. I think it might be purple. I'm not sure I got this at Whole Foods. It just looked interesting. So I have that. And then I also have, I really went to town on the potatoes. I also have 4 of these, which are uh, also purple. I guess I must be really into the purple. I got these at the Asian store, and they're Hawaiian sweet potatoes. Let's see if I pull this off. Oh, you can see. You see how it's purple? Yeah, it's such a pretty color. So I'm going to be making at some point today, I'm going to be roasting all these potatoes, uh, and I'll have them in the refrigerator to either snack on cold, or I might air fry them. Let's see. Arachnid said, do you have any of the plant-based doctors you follow more than others, or who convince you to go plant-based? Furman, Gregor, Barnard, Esselstyn, or others? All of them. Let me just see if I can pull that up again. Dr. Furman, I really enjoy his information, and his daughter Kara. She's also I forget what kind of, she's a naturopath maybe. She's on Instagram. And Dr. Gregor has been fabulous. I love his nutritionfacts.org website. Dr. Barnard is great. I have a book of his. I have several books of his. He's great. Dr. Esselstyn. They've all contributed to my knowledge base, and I am still, I still have a lot more to learn. But I have to say that they have been significant in terms of impacting me. And I want science based. I don't want just a whim. Although I do have to say there are certain content creators like Chef AJ, who I've been watching for years, and others in that space who I think are brilliant and really have a lot to contribute. Chef AJ really was instrumental for me. And also, by the way, let's not forget Dr. McDougall of blessed memory. His book, The Starch Solution, is a central part of the way I eat. So yes, all those doctors really contribute to the way I eat. And I have to tell you that uh, this is not a knock on doctors, but I will tell you that when I had my blood work done, not this time, but the time before, my triglycerides were high. And it was scary because if I can help it, I don't want to go on medication. And so I've been living with that fear. And I have since then done a lot of research. And apparently, there are certain things you can do. Again, I'm not a doctor, that can help with lowering your triglycerides. And one of them is to uh, eat um, less fruits. I don't love that idea because I love my fruits, and less maple syrup, less sweets. So I decided that, and again, this is what worked for me. I decided that I would really try to up my own nutrition on my own. And not only that, but here's the kicker: I was also never told, or it was never recommended to me, to do a fasting blood sugar test. So when I've had my blood sugar, my labs done in the past, they've always been in the middle of the afternoon after I've had probably 2 pretty starch-based meals and a lot of fruit. And so this time I fasted for, I think it was so I ate at 6 o'clock the night before, and I had the test done at about 10. So I did about 16 hours. And wouldn't you know, my triglycerides were right in the normal range. So all this worrying that I've been doing over the last couple of years, because that's the one marker that I was concerned about. Lo and behold, by doing I don't know if this is true for everybody. I'm just telling you what worked for me. I just did a fasting um, a fasting blood sugar. So okay, so now what I want to do is I want to finish telling you that I'm going to take these and I'm going to scrub them. I'm going to cut the ends off. I'm going to do karate chop them. And then I'm going to do it 400 for about an hour. And I'll take them out at that point and see. I like them to be oozing and kind of caramelized. So if they're not, I'll just cook them some more. And then I will let them come to room temp. I might have one for dinner tonight, and then I'll have the rest in the fridge, especially because, oh God, with this, we have a blizzard coming. I want to make sure that I have food to eat. So if these are cooked, then I can eat them right out of the fridge. Although if we lose power, then that's not going to be fun either. But I can always put like a one of those thermal, large, what do you call them? Like for when you have to take lots and lots of food. I forget what they're called. And I can put them in that and put them outside in the snow. So Beth says for both blood works, it is standard to have fasted at least 12 hours. Yeah, no, my doctors never told me that. Or if they did, I didn't hear it. I'm sure I just wasn't. I think I wasn't told that, which is capital CRAZY, crazy. So I'm seeing another doctor. I'm actually seeing a nurse practitioner now. Big blizzard coming. I'm making sweet potato and lentil stew. I might do something similar. I might do a sweet potato and chickpea stew. But yeah, I'm going to do that probably in my Instant Pot. I'm pretty sure. So let me tell you about these cookies and see, first of all, if anybody has any questions at all. Just let me know. Just put questions or just comments. I love them. I love the community that we've created. So look at these. I'm going to break one just so that you can see it. And I'm going to probably freeze them. Okay. They're crispy on the outside. You can hear them. And they're sort of soft, not too soft, but softer on the inside. They're not like a crispy chocolate chip cookie of our, you know, you know what I mean. So, but these are going to be my mid-afternoon snack with the rest of the plate, the apples and the vegetables. So I'm very excited about that. And that's going to help me with, I just think I haven't been eating enough. I get hungry mid-afternoon and I'll have water, but I think this is going to be a game changer. So Christine says, I noticed when I did more of a firming kind of way of I gained 4 pounds. I was doing Esselstyn SOS, but I love a little more nuts and dressings. Yeah, I think, Christine, it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to lose weight, then obviously no matter what lifestyle eating you do, you have to cut back on your calories. And one of the quickest way to do that is on the fats, whether you're eating oil, which is 120 calories a tablespoon, or whether you're eating cheese, which is way up there, or whether you're eating nuts and seeds and avocado, all that in the plant-based world, those foods are high on the calorie density chart. But if you're on maintenance, which I am, and I have been for a few years now, if you're on maintenance, then I think it's okay to eat. For me, it's okay to eat those. Like for example, my oatmeal in the morning, I almost always have either walnuts and pepitas, or I will just have one or the other. And Pam says I have mixed feelings about starches and eating too many starches. Dr. Furman did a lecture on starches. Oops. Um, converting to sugars. I'm not sure how much is too much though. Well, I don't know either. I think a lot of it has to be just your experience and what's the reason for not doing too much starches. I think that the key is going to be balance, to have a plate that is balanced. For me as a 71-year-old, now again, I might be going against what many of the plant-based doctors think, but for me, it's not enough. I don't feel that it's enough to do a 50-50 plate, 50% starches and 50% vegetables. And I think that people in our age group, say post menopause or maybe menopause and older, I think we have to I think we need protein. Our protein needs are important. Now, I'm not going to eat animal protein, but I have made more of an effort to add more plant-based protein into my meals. So that's why I put the lentils into my oatmeal. And that's why I have cookies that have chickpeas in them. That's why I almost always, I don't right now, but that's why I almost always have air fried chickpeas as a snack. And I I call those that food hand to mouth because it's easy to just stick your hand in the bowl and eat a handful. But I think that's much better than eating a handful of nuts. When it comes to um, the plant-based fats like the nuts and the seeds and the avocado and the tofu, I'm just mindful. But the whole purpose of my upcoming reset that I'm offering for free first time around is that I want to help women find a happy medium. I want women to absolutely delete the word diet in the negative sense of the word. I want them to delete the word diet from their vocabularies, from their heart, from their soul, from their mind, because we have been so convinced and just pushed on us that we need to be on a diet. Um, those days are so far behind me, and I'm so grateful that I found this way of eating, which I've tweaked in the almost 7 years since I've been doing it. I think that it's important to find a way to eat that's sustainable and to stop worrying. Throw out the damn scale. And there are some people who might say, "No, I can't do that. I need to know how much I weigh." Well, what would it be like if Beth, definitely send me. It'd be best for you to send me if you're on Instagram. Please go and send me a DM. If you're not on Instagram, send me an email to Ellen at ellenshealthykitchen.com because I think I have about 5 spaces left. I'm having 20 people entirely. So I think that the whole diet mentality, I call it the diet roller coaster. I am determined to help people find a balance, find a way to eat that is going to keep them at a weight that feels good and comfortable and healthy. And if you need to lose weight, okay, then we tweak a little bit. We don't, instead of having a half a block of tofu at a meal, you have a quarter of a block. Or instead of using, what do you call it? Nut butter, from made from real nuts, use peanut butter powder or cashew powder. Just find ways that you can tweak it and know that this is not something that's an overnight fix, that we have to take our time. And it took me several years, to be honest, and I'm not exaggerating. It took me several years to figure out how to balance my plate, how to build my plate. And I know on days when I go to bed and I'm hungry, I know I haven't eaten enough. So that for me, things like I make my own soy yogurt, and pretty much every meal I will have a little cup of soy yogurt. It might be a quarter of a cup with some chia seeds in it. Sometimes, if I'm having a savory dinner, which I usually do, I will also chop up a cucumber and maybe add some dried dill and maybe some capers. And I have that as a little, instead of, say, applesauce, for example, I might have that as a little side dish. And that's giving me just that hit of extra protein and filling my belly up. So I've learned it takes time, and that's what this reset is all about. It's um, I pray that we can, even if it's just a few people who I help to make this dent, is to help them not worry about how much they weigh. And even if you have to lose weight, okay, what can you do to modify what you're eating? How can you eat lower on the calorie density chart so that you're eating foods that are going to sustain you, that are going to nourish you, and that are not going to either make you gain weight or not help you lose weight if that's what you need to do. But I don't want the dieting part of it, the weight loss, to be central. And I know I'm probably running against the tide because most people, especially if you need to lose weight, most people are like, ah, she's a nutball, she's a nutcase. I want to lose weight and I want to go on a diet, and that's all there is to it. And what I'm suggesting is that you will, if you follow a whole food, plant-based, oil-free way of life, and you really are paying close attention to the food that you put in your mouth, because your fork, okay, great. Super. I'll see that when I get off, Beth. The your what you put on the end of your fork is your medicine, and I am a walking case of that. Now if you come to me and you already have heart disease, I can't speak to that because oh, that's fabulous, Christine. Tell us more. She lost over 50 pounds. The idea is to lose it, I believe, in a way that, and I lost 25 pounds. I had gained weight when I met my husband because I was happy as a pig in you know what, pig in doo doo. And I just was eating everything he was eating, and we were drinking cocktails every night. And before you know it, I was like, whoa, when did that happen? Thank God for, elastic pants, the yoga pants. And I tried all the diets, all the big ones, the names I don't have to tell you what they are. You know what they are. I tried them all. There were five of them that I tried. I rotated through. And yes, let food be thy medicine. And I was miserable, counting points, weighing, measuring, limiting. It wasn't sustainable. And yeah, I lost the weight. Yes, it's more sustainable long term, 100%. I've been doing it now, like I said, for almost 7 years. And I just, I think the nutrition world has made such a huge, big deal about protein. And I say, let's flip that switch and make it about fiber. Let that sink in for a minute. It's so important for us to get enough fiber. And the most people in this country do not get enough fiber. And if you think you do, trust me when I tell you you don't. And so look at this craziness with the hair. We just need to all eat more fiber. And so, for example, I'll tell you, I haven't counted it, and I probably should just so that I can tell people who I'm working with. Great, super, thanks, Pam. But so I told you what I had for breakfast. I probably had, I don't know, easily 15 or 20 grams easily of fiber. And then for lunch, I wish I could stop and show you the picture. I had all leftovers except for the cabbage. And I love leftovers. I always make extra of everything because I know I'm going to eat it the